Do you think you know a thing or two about love and about creating a winning environment for parent and children all over the world? Well, if you think you do, you haven't seen anything yet. I got an exclusive with a superstar that is going to break down to us her story and how it can impact children all around the world, and how you too can be the most loving, caring, providing biggest successful entrepreneur that you can be, and on the same time maintaining the love that you have for your children. I am Ali Madawi. I go by your strategic partner, and this is the ME Show.
All eyes on me, drinks on me, girls on me, on the dance floor. All eyes on me, who is he? Man, you better come get your girl dog. All eyes on me, party like a rock star. You can find me in VIP. All eyes on me, yeah, where the girls are. This is how your night should be. All eyes on me,
all eyes on the prize, money supersized. G5 super fly, should be supervised. Do or die, open up your eyes, head to the sky. Keep a mean bad mommy on the side. Make a tsunami, kamikaze on the mind. Spit flow, paparazzi flash shine. Get dough, champagne, Merlot. Cash and tango, in the VIP. Now she wanna touch her ankle. Get low, mueve mami como el dembow. All eyes on me, peeping through the window. Get mine, get yours, believe it or not. In the meantime, I'ma keep my eyes on the
all
top.
eyes on me, drinks on me, girls on me, on the dance floor. All eyes on me, who is he? Man, you better come get your girl dog. All eyes on me, party like a rock star. You can find me in VIP. All eyes on me, yeah, where the girls are. This is how your night should be.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you are ready to rock and roll with me, because I got a superstar that is going to educate, teach about her story. And I promise you, this is going to be an inspiring, motivating Saturday morning. And, I personally have gotten the opportunity to work with her and hear her story hand in hand. But you are in for a treat. She is a mom. She is an entrepreneur. She is one of the hardest working people that you can ever have the opportunity to be with. She goes by the name of Chiquita Hutton. And today we know her as Kita. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give her some love, some affection, and encouragement. Drop those emojis right in those comments. Chiquita, welcome to the ME Show. And I know you've been prepared for this over the weekend. So this is going to be an exciting interview. How are you feeling this morning?
I'm doing great this morning. How are you?
I have never felt better. So first things first, for those who might not know about your story, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? What do you do professionally? And then we can dig a little bit into you, your story, your brand, and how you are impacting everybody around you.
During the day, I'm a program analyst. And a mom of a 8-year-old differently abled child. And I'm here today because I wanted to share with you my passion, which is helping grown-ups of differently abled children, and how we can best set them up to be advocates for themselves, and help them learn to be as independent as possible with however that may look for them.
I love it. And did you hear differently able? So I would love for you to educate the masses. What does that actually mean? And why are you focusing on that as a main passion of yours?
I say differently abled because my daughter at a young age was injured. And the result of that injury left her with spastic quadriparesis, cerebral palsy, a traumatic brain injury, hydrocephalus, and epilepsy. And so at that point, I was thrown into this world that I knew nothing about. So I had to sink or swim. So I began to educate myself on the resources available and what I could do to help advocate for my daughter and teach her how to advocate for herself and to help encourage her to be as independent as possible. And I use differently abled instead of using special needs. I think differently able encompasses every child or every person that may have something that marks them as not the neurotypical person or child that you would typically have.
100%. Because if you think about it, I'm differently able in so many different ways than you are. So I love that. So let's dig a little bit into you. And shout out to your beautiful daughter, by the way. So first things first, for those who may be watching this and say, how is this, relatable to me? Who do you help?
I help grown-ups of differently abled children. And I'm saying grown-ups because when you're raising differently abled children or caring for them, it doesn't just stop with the parents. It could be a mom and dad home, a single mom, a single dad, two dads, two moms, anyone who comes in contact with helping to raise and guide a differently able child. That's the person that I want to reach out and help.
That's awesome. Now, how do you help them? Because I get it. All right, cool. You can help me, but how can you help me? What is that methodology?
So I help them by educating them and sharing knowledge with them about resources that are available to help their children. One of the things I experienced when I was first going through the situation with my daughter is I didn't have anyone to lean on that could share with me resources that could not only help her, but help me work through the process. Because, you know, when your child is suffering, you're suffering too, but in a completely different manner. And most times we focus so much on helping the child, but we also have to turn around and invest in ourselves and maintain self-care. Because if we're not at our best, we don't have anything to give to our child.
Yeah.
So I ultimately want to be able to share all possible resources and any potential knowledge out there to help make grown-ups, to help make it easier for grown-ups when they're caring for their differently able children.
Yeah, the interesting thing is this is so factual that I know that when I'm cranky, I sometimes without even realizing I take it out on our son, you know, and you want to be so good and you want to be, you know, the best version of a parent that you can be, but you're so right. If you don't take care of you, or if you don't even know what you're doing is right or wrong, how can you be the best version to your children? So spot on. All right, so now let's dig into what are the results that you would create if somebody uses those resources, those tools that you are providing to them for themselves as they're grown up, for the child?
So the end result is to have a completely educated household. Some things we may take for granted, like you said, if you're grumpy, our children get grumpy too. Our
Yeah.
kids need outlets. We need to better educate ourselves on what our child's differences are and how that appears with that child. You could be someone who you think has like a bad temper tantrum, but it could be behavioral concerns.
Mm.
It could be something internal that's going on. And if you educate yourself on what the symptoms look like with whatever diagnosis your child has, you're better equipped to handle them and to work with them. And with my daughter, we've learned that because there are some cognitive delays, it may take her about 10 to 15 seconds to respond to questions asked.
Right.
If I didn't know that, then I'd get frustrated, like, why aren't you responding to me? You know, why do I have to ask you multiple times to do one typical thing? But in learning about her neurological issues and her cognitive delays, I've learned that it's not that she's purposely not responding to me. It's just taking a while for the message to start. You know, she hears the message, she internalizes it, and it works its way through her mind, and then comes back down, and then she communicates what her response is. And just taking that time has made it a lot easier. I'm not as stressed as I was before, and she's not as frustrated as she is either, because now she understands, hey, mom isn't mad at me. She understands it takes me a little while, and she'll have patience with me. And that little bit of difference made a world of difference in how we interact with each other, and as well as how her teachers interact with her and respond with her.
Yeah. And I'm curious, for those who are watching, wherever you may be, are you a parent? And are these areas that you actually deal with where you get frustrated at yourself not knowing how to better communicate with your child? You know, I can tell you, my wife and I just brought our newest born baby girl, Isabel, just 2 days ago to home. And in the middle of the night, you know, the baby, thank God she's a sleeper. Like, she literally sleeps all night. We have to get up and put our alarm clock. And then I got frustrated at myself. I remember that I did not know how to please her and give her the best grab that I can with the bottle. And I'm getting mad at myself. And my wife keeps hearing, She's like, "You okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm doing it wrong." What I didn't realize is she's a different baby, different child than our first was. That her reflexes and reactions keep throwing the bottle, and I'm getting mad. Like, what is it that I'm doing wrong? So I
Mhm.
totally, and absolutely get that. So awesome stuff, awesome stuff. Now let's go into what I like to kind of derive a little bit and switch things to your mission within this whole space itself. What is your vision, and kind of how did it begin, and where it is now, and where are we heading with Kita in her own journey, if you will?
So my vision and my mission both are to normalize and socialize differently abled children.
Yeah,
And it starts at home with inclusivity. My daughter, as in any other child, wants to make friends, wants to have fun, wants to eat her favorite food. She just wants to do the typical things every child does. And I think with us, we normalize what is going on with her. We don't treat her any different than anyone else. We just understand and we show her that you can do pretty much what you set your mind to. We just have to make modifications for her to be able to do that. And,
right,
and I encourage parents when they're out there and you see someone that's differently abled, and your child may think it's very interesting, or they may have some questions or curious and they may stare. Don't pull them away. Don't tell them don't stare. Bring them over. Let them talk and engage with that child. Um, as a parent of a differently able child, I welcome that. My daughter is friendly. She wants to talk to everybody. We both want to share, information with everybody. She'll ask their name. She'll say hi. And I think in doing that, we present to our children. There's nothing wrong with her being in a wheelchair. She's just in a wheelchair.
yeah,
You walk on two legs, she's pushed around, but she's just like everybody else. There's nothing strange about her being in a wheelchair. There's nothing different about her being in a walker, or if she has her braces on. And I think with our neurotypical children, if they see that that's normal, that we're socializing it, they become more compassionate to differently abled persons,
right.
and they don't think of it as something, an exception to the rule. And then we do that. We raise children that can socialize with differently abled people and don't think anything about it. And then we also normalize it, so it's easy to talk to someone and get to know them and befriend them and play with them. And that's one of my goals, is definitely to normalize and socialize being differently abled.
Yeah, and I got two more questions that I really want to dig into, but just a sidebar, as all of us who are watching right now, parents or not, what would you like to see for us to do to contribute to your journey? Meaning, whether I know you or don't, whether I'm around you or not, when I am encountering a differently able child, what would you like me to put an effort forward so I can make a difference in that child's life?
Have compassion. That's one of the things differently abled grown-ups need: compassion. Um, Being differently able presents itself in many different ways. Some children are a little bit more vocal and they communicate with noises or sounds, or they may express themselves by screaming or crying, or talking rather loudly or whatever. But um, just compassion, no shaming of the parents, the grown up of a differently able child. Sometimes just getting out of the house is a miracle in itself. It takes a lot. I know for me, when we're getting ready to go, we think about everything. And the main word is logistics. How are we going to do what we need to do? It's never that simple. Going to the grocery store in itself is a feat.
Yeah,
And I love going to the grocery store, but it's not something that I can just quickly throw on some clothes and go. I have to think about it. Is it going to be packed? Am I going to have enough space when pushing my daughter in the wheelchair? Am I going to have to run into people who are going to be, in a bad mood, and they're going to frown at me and look at me because I'm taking up more space, or my daughter's, leaning over, or she's talking, or just different things. And I can tell you from experience, having someone just be compassionate with you, giving you grace, means the world to me, as to well as my fellow friends who parent differently able children.
yeah. Awesome. Cool. Now let me go back to regular programming. So you're building right now your own community. You're building right now your own tribe, if you will, to help the grown-ups and help the parents to join your journey and utilize and leverage your resources. What is that community and that culture looking like? You know, what should I expect if I get in that room with you, with everybody else? What am I expecting in your world?
A big love fest.
A big love fest. I
A
love
big
that.
love fest. Uh, our community, the community I'm working on building,
Yeah.
is a non-judgmental community. It's an understanding that there is no one way to parent a child. Everybody's going through their own story at their own time, and that the purpose is just to uplift each other, share information, share knowledge, lean on them if necessary, just to ultimately be there and support them in whatever phase they're in.
That's so amazing. And I don't know if you all are catching this, wherever you may be watching this. There's a lot of love that is coming right now because you are incredible in so many ways.
Thank
Um,
you.
I got $1 million question for you that I will ask. And ladies and gentlemen, if you've ever watched any of our ME vlog, I always have $1 million question. We got one coming up for Kita in just a second. But before we do, just keep in mind if you have the opportunity to visit winwithali.com, not only you have a chance to get the newest audiobook that is going to be released any day now for free. Otherwise, you're going to have to purchase it when it officially releases. So go to winwithali.com, opt into the inner circle, and by being in the inner circle, you receive daily training sessions, you receive motivational videos, you receive anything and everything that I have, and it's all complimentary to you. So just giveaways. There's nothing you can purchase or sign up for in my website. It is simply a resource platform where you can get all the training that you would ever want to have, plus keep up with everything that I have going on as well. And if you have not checked it out yet, I got the last 2 episodes of Your Strategic Partner podcast, which, by the way, I tested this thing and I said, I'm not going to promote it. I'm just going to release them. And the love that I've been getting is so appreciated. Thank you for the love. And the first one that I released last week was all about relationships, couples who beef and fight and argue about business and not being on the same page. If your spouse does not support or does not understand your business, you definitely want to check it out. The second one is all about parenting guilt, being in business and being a parent, and am I taking away from my child? So definitely check them out. I'll make sure that I put the content in there for you in the comment, or just visit winwithali.com and you can listen and watch everything for yourself. Now, ladies and gentlemen, here is the $1 million question. Are you ready for it? If you are, let me see in the comment those emojis, because the $1 million question is for Kita, and here it is. You ready for it? Cool. What problem do you and only you solve in this very same space?
Oh my God, that's a tough question.
It is a tough question. That's what we call it, the $1 million question.
What problem do I solve?
Well, no. What problem do you and only you solve?
I bring my experience, my knowledge, and my compassion to all grown-ups with differently abled children. And that experience and knowledge and passion can help those grown-ups learn in a better way how to educate themselves, how to empower themselves so that they can educate and empower their children and teach them how to be advocates for themselves as they get older. So that parent, that grown-up, will be able to help their child gain their independence in whatever way it looks like.
I love it. How about you? Do you love it? Do you feel the love and the energy and the compassion coming out of your screen? Because she is that incredible. Ladies and gentlemen, here's the thing. I got a confession for you, and I'm going to tell him our confession, Kita. You ready? Can we tell him? We're so going to tell him. So check this out. Kita and I are working together and have been for going on 2 weeks now on her brand and her business and her mission and journey with everything that she shared with you. She used the wrong word on Friday, so we were supposed to schedule an appointment, a coaching session. But what she did is she says, "Hey Ali, we have our interview scheduled on Friday or last Wednesday, and because of our daughter, obviously, I needed to be in a hospital with my wife. I automatically assumed that we were scheduled for a live interview like this. So I was like, yeah, sure. But can we do it on either Friday, 5:30 or Saturday, 10:30? And she goes like, Saturday, 10:30 works. So I went ahead and I scheduled the interview and I programmed it and I got it going everywhere. And then, Chiquita gets on this morning and she's like, okay, let me just get my pen. And I'm like, what's she getting a pen for? We're doing an interview. It's not a debate. And then I was like, okay, you're ready? Here's my interview style. And I'm explaining to her how it all works out. She's like, wait, what do you mean interview? Like, we're going to do this in front of everybody? I'm like, oh, yeah, the world is about to watch. We're going to be live on YouTube, on Periscope, on Facebook right now at the same exact time. And it will be repurposed on LinkedIn. It will be repurposed on IGTV. It'll be everywhere. Like, email lists of 3,000 people are going to get this interview. So I want each and every one of you to let her know how amazing she was, because she absolutely was not prepared for an interview at all. And that was so natural. This was the best coaching session I have ever had the opportunity to do alongside with you, because you are incredible, fantastic. And this just proved to you how much of a natural you are when it comes to influencing, when it comes to helping, when it comes to teaching, when it comes to really working with parents. So for anyone out there that is watching this anywhere in the World Wide Web, you definitely need to connect with Chiquita. I'm gonna, you're tagged obviously in this platform right here and right now. Oh yeah, we are definitely serious. Everybody's wondering, like, are you serious?
Yep. And Ali, because I had no idea I was walking into a full-fledged interview. I didn't get a chance to pull up a good copy of my book, but I wanted to share with everybody that I wrote a book called Sydney's Superpowers.
All right. Keep it up for a second. Where can we find it if we wanted to purchase a copy?
So you can purchase this off of Amazon.
Awesome stuff. I want each and every one of you to do me a favor, and let's make it Christmas today. And let's go ahead today and we all grab a copy. Can you show it to us one more time so people can take a screenshot so you can go ahead and get it? That is Sydney's Superpowers, available in Amazon today. All right. That's fantastic. Can everybody connect with you? Is that okay if people send you friend requests?
Absolutely. They can definitely connect with me.
Good. So let's flood her messenger with a lot of love, a lot of encouragement, and let her know any and all questions that you may have about raising a child in general and how you too can be a superhero in the life of your differently able child, as well as we are all differently abled in our own ways. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been an exclusive of the ME Show. She goes by Chiquita Hutton, and she's amazing in so many ways. Appreciate you and thank you. And until next time, peace out, everybody. Tell them peace out, everybody, Kita.
Peace out, everybody.